Hello, my dear friends. How are you all? Everyone fine? I am also doing great. From today, 45 days are left for the exam, and I know everyone is giving their best for the preparation. Success is not the key for happiness. Happiness is the key for the success. So keep enjoy your preparation, love whatever you are doing, give your 100% for your preparation, and believe me, you will become CA. There is no doubt about that. Now, let us start today's discussion. But before I start today's topic, don't forget to subscribe this channel and press the like button. More you give like, that bring happiness in my life. So of course like button is required. Now coming to today's topic, how to present paper, how to present answer in FR paper. It is one of the most important question, and normally the presentation is very important from examination point of view, because if you don't present properly, you may waste your most of the time in writing the answer. So you should know what you should write, what you should not write in exam, because writing more will not give you more marks. Sometimes what happen, if you are writing to the point, that will give you marks. So you should know exactly how to present your answer in FR paper. Let us start a discussion. First, I have divided the entire topic in three important parts. There can be three types of question. One is known as analysis based question, then second is case based question, and third is practical based question. I'm leaving MCQs right now because MCQs you need to only just choose the best correct option. So of course that is also one type of question. So now I'll be concentrating on these three type of questions. First, when I say analysis based of questions, that is this is the question from one chapter that is known as analysis of financial statement. In this type of question, normally they will give wrong treatment and you to give the correct treatment as per the requirement of India. So whenever question says analyze the accounting treatment as per the respective Indias, so in that question, first you write down the respective Indias, Indias number, Indias title, and then give the meaning, recognition, and measurement principle. For example, suppose the question is for India 16, then you need to give the meaning of PP, initial and subsequent, recognition and measurement principle, and then whatever accounting treatment is required. Then you need to identify the wrong accounting treatment done in the question. Then you need to give the correct accounting treatment as per the relevant Indias. Then to frame the extract of financial statement as per the correct accounting treatment, and to also give the working note if required to support your extract of financial statement. So whenever there is a question based on analysis of financial statement, first what you should write down? First you should write down what? The Ind AS number, Ind AS title. Second, you need to write down meaning, recognition and measurement principle, then wrong accounting treatment provided, then correct accounting treatment, then extract of financial statement, even though not required in the question, extract you give, and then working note to support your extract. This is for analysis based question. Understood? Now come to the case study based question. So how case study based question is different from analysis based question? In analysis based question, they will give you wrong accounting treatment. But in case study based question, they will ask you your conclusion, your justification. They will give you one case and they will ask you what is your viewpoint in this regard. So whenever there is a case study based question, first give the relevant Ind AS number and Ind AS title. Then you need to write down the then you write down the Ind AS provision which is related to that case study. Understood? So you should write down the provision of respective Ind AS. Then you should connect the provision of the whatever provision you have given with the case study, and then give conclusion. Only this much is required. So first you give Ind AS number, Ind AS title, then write down the provision which is required as per the given case study of respective Ind AS, then connect the provision with the related case study and then give conclusion. Sometimes what happen, the information given the question is not clear and you may have some different alternative solution also. So if there is some alternative solution, give that alternative solution also by in a separate para, and whenever you are giving an alternative solution, just give write them in a box that it is an alternative solution, so the examiner will understand that this is an alternative solution, understood. And just write down in capital letter alternative solution, understood. If you are writing alternative solution, however alternative solution is not required, but if you want to write, you can write also. Got this point? Correct. Then coming to practical based question. When I say practical based question means what is this type of question? Normally in practical based question, they will ask direct question. Prepare consolidated balance sheet, pass journal entries, correct now. Pass prepare ledger account, correct now. Give accounting treatment. Are you able to understand? Or give extract of financial statement. They will just write down the what is required. For example, if suppose there is a question of amortization table, they will ask you to pass journal entry and prepare amortization table or calculate interest expense as the case may be. Correct. This is known as practical based question. Whenever there is a direct practical based question, there is no need to give any explanation. No explanation required. For example, they ask you question of share based payment pass journal entry. In that case, you are not supposed to give any explanation as per Ind AS 102. Correct? Understood? Only what is required that you are supposed to give. If they require journal entry, give journal entry. If they require ledger account, give ledger account. If they ask balance sheet, give balance sheet. Understood? Only what is required. Whatever is the main solution should be supported by working note if required. Working note need to be given even though it is simple. For example, goodwill calculation you can do in calculator, then also goodwill calculation required in case of business combination chapter and consolidation chapter. It is quite possible that your working note might be simple, then also each working note have some mark. You can't ignore working note in examination question. Now one doubt will come, sir, first we should provide main solution or working note. Of course, as per ICAI standard solution, can I say first we should provide main solution then supported by working note. If you can follow that, it is very good. But if you can't follow that, you can also start with working note and then followed by main solution. Believe me, no marks will be deducted for that particular case. Understood? So you can start with the working note and then you can give your main solution. Now, in this type of question, normally sometimes we take some assumption. Now, if question remains silent, we take some assumption and we give our working based on assumption. If you have taken some assumption, then write down all the assumption whatever you have taken. Either you can write down the assumption in front of the working note or you can write down all the assumption at one place after the working note of main solution. Understood? The assumption need to be provided. Whatever assumption you have taken, write down that assumption. And assumption once again give in one box so that the examiner can understand that this is the assumption taken by you. High means you need to write down in a prominent way that this assumption you have taken for this particular working note. Understood this point? So explanation is not required. Only do whatever is required in the question. Working note is required even though it's simple. For working note, one more thing I will say that give reference of working note in main solution. For example, the consolidated balance sheet and you have prepared one working note for goodwill. So in front of goodwill, write down working note number this. So if you have time, you can also give the reference for the working note. This is what the presentation for three types of questions. Now there are some small point that also is required to inform you, and you should also have a knowledge about that. Journal entries based question. Suppose journal entry based question, you need to write down journal entry date wise, and if the date is not given, just write down serial wise, serial number 1, 2, 3, 4. So journal entries write down date wise or serial number wise. Understood? Narration is required. In journal entry, narration is required. Even though they have not informed you in exam, narration required for the main solution. If journal entry is a part of main solution, give narration. If the journal entry is a part of working note, no narration is required. No narration is required. Understood? Correct? Journal entry is understood. Now the question is based on, yeah, you need to calculate the present value. So normally doubt will come about discounting factor. Now if you see the lease chapter or if you see the financial instrument chapter, most of the solution of ICAI has been done in tabular format. Okay. Now ICAI has used tabular format does not mean we need to use tabular format in exam. You can also use annuity factor and directly calculate what present value and in that also marks will be given. Just try to understand, we are at CA final level and everyone knows that we can calculate the present value by using annuity factor. What suggestion I will like to give you, that if the cash flows, whether it can be outflows or inflows, is are same then you can use annuity factor. But if the cash flows are different, it is my suggestion that use tabular format. Understood? Correct. So this is my suggestion. If the cash flows are different, use tabular format. If the cash flows are same, you can directly use annuity factor. Understood? Yes, sir. Now coming to discounting factor, annuity factor is given the question, use the discounting factor given the question, whether it is 2 decimal, 3 decimal, 4 decimal, 5 decimal. Now if they are given 5 decimal discounting factor, you can't use 4 decimal discounting factor. Correct? Now marks can be deducted in that regard. If the discounting factor or annuity factor is not given, I will say you can use 3 decimal or 4 decimal discounting factor, but whatever discounting factor or annuity factor you are using, write down the discounting factor or annuity factor in your exam solution. Correct? Now, sometime I have seen that student has used student have mentioned 4 decimal discounting factor, but they are multiplied with the entire decimal discounting factor. That is not correct. If you have written 4 decimal, multiply with 4 decimal only. If you have written 3 decimal, multiply with 3 decimal discounting factor. In that also marks can be deducted. So whatever you have used, write down that. Correct? Now understood. Discounting factor is also over. Now coming to short form, can we use short form in examination paper? Yes, you can use. There are some short form which you can use, and no marks will be deducted and no reference is required. For example, there are some short form which is well known, which is known by everyone. For example, I will say INA, identifiable net asset, FBTOCI, fair value through other comprehensive income, OCI, other comprehensive income, PL, profit and loss, PP, property plant and equipment, correct. ROU asset, no reference required, you can use it. Correct? Now FCTR, foreign currency translation reserve, government GOBT, held for sale, HFS. For this I will see no reference required, but there are some short form I will suggest that you can use it, but you need to give some reference for that. For example, EB expense. And now whenever they ask you journal entry for share based payment, you need to write down EB expense, EB expense, EB expense many times. So what you do, first you write down employee benefit expense, in bracket you write down EB. For employee benefit you are using EB, and then next time whenever you are using EB expense, write down EB expense, EB expense, EB expense, like this. Correct? Now for example, IP, investment property, for that one time reference is required. Intangible asset, IA, fair value, joint arrangement, joint venture, joint operation, FCMI, foreign currency monetary item, foreign currency non-monetary item, non-current asset, non-CA, current asset, CA, securities premium, SP, equity share capital, ESC. I will say one time you write down, then you just start repeating that. Understood? I hope you have understood. However, I have seen that because as per the answer paper, whatever I have analyzed, they deduct marks if you are using what short form. They do not deduct marks if you are using short form. So you can use it if the time is not permitting you to use the entire long form. Understood? Have you understood short forms? Correct? Now yes, sir. Now coming to the format of financial statement, so format need to be used as per division 2 of schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. Correct? Now means if they have asked balance sheet, if they ask statement of PL, and if you are not writing your answer as per the format given in the division 2 of schedule 3, they will deduct marks. So whenever they have asked balance sheet, whenever they have asked statement of PL, make sure that you are using the format as prescribed. Understood? Yes, sir. Now coming the notes to financial statement, sir, should we mention notes to financial statement? Believe me, from examination point of view, if you are not mentioning notes to financial statement, they will deduct marks for that, and it might happen that 2 or maximum 3 marks can be deducted if you are not mentioning notes to financial statement. So whenever they ask you a question of consolidated balance sheet, or if they have asked balance sheet in case of business combination chapter or any other chapter, and you are not writing notes to financial statement, they will deduct marks for that. But I will suggest that if you do not have time, if the time does not permit, you can give notes to financial statement only regarding equity share capital and other equity balance you can leave. Or if you do not have time, you can leave entire notes to financial statement. I will say better is to do 10 marks question than writing notes to financial statement. Correct? Now so I will say first prepare balance sheet, leave some space for notes to financial statement, and at the end if you are getting some time, come back again and write down the notes to financial statement. Correct now. So in this regard, you need to be smart enough to what to do, what not to do from examination point of view, taking time into consideration. Understood? Now drawing lines is not at all required for main solution as well as working note. Drawing line is not required. Journal entries, ledger account, all you can write down without drawing line. But I have seen that when you don't write, when you don't draw the line, your presentation will not be proper. Means the examiner will not be able to understand which account has been debited, which account has been created. So in that regard, marks can be deducted. So I will suggest you that, because I will suggest you that for main solution you can draw line. For working note, drawing line is not required. Correct now. So for main solution, whether it is balance sheet or journal entries, you can draw the line. That is my suggestion. Even though you are not drawing the line, believe me, marks will not be deducted, but your answer should be in a presentable format. Understood this point? Correct. Now when you draw the line, can I see it will also beautify your answer? So that will also somehow give some impression. Correct. However, for impression you are not getting any marks. Believe me, in CA examination, no marks for handwriting, no marks for impression, etc. Marks is only on presentation, how you are presenting your answer, how you are presenting your answer. Understood? So this is the overview of how to write answer in FR paper. I have just given an analysis of FR paper. Correct now. For other subject, you can refer other faculty viewpoint, but FR paper I have given because this is my subject. I teach this subject. Correct now. Now, of course, one question will come in your mind: so whether ICAI has given any guidelines regarding the presentation of answer in FR paper. No guidelines has been given by the institute. This is my as per my analysis, what I have drawn by reviewing the past paper, past answer paper of many students. Correct now. This is my analysis. This type of answer should be given to score maximum marks in examination point of view, to save time from in examination hall. Understood? So there is no guidelines given by ICAI. There is no guidelines. You can use these guidelines as a standard guidelines, which will help you to score more marks in exam. Understood? I hope you have liked this video. Share this video with your friend, because so that it will benefit other students also. All the best for your preparation. Keep enjoying your study. Bye bye. All the best. Love you all. Bye bye.